Hey, Coach. Bill Wagner from the Baltimore Sun and the Annapolis Capital newspapers.
Hey,
Why don't you
Bill.
talk about Notre Dame? I mean, obviously, it's always a challenging game. One of the best teams you'll play all season.
Yeah.
Talented every year. I mean, they may lose parts, but they replace them with equal caliber parts. You've been playing them for 4 years now. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they're good. They're going to be good. You got a great coaching staff, great players across the board. Really veteran bunch on the defensive side. We got 9 starters listed, as starters on defense. 7 of those are fifth-year players, so a lot of experience coming back. Another year in our golden system there, and offensively they're talented. 3 really good players coming back up front. I think tight end's a really good player. They're talented at wide out, talented at running back. The addition of Sam Hartman was a huge acquisition for them, obviously. And he's a tremendous player, tremendous leader, winner. Sounds like he's really gelled well, with that unit over there. I saw he just recently got voted captain. For a guy transferring to be voted captain at Notre Dame is a huge honor. And yeah, they're big, they're long, they can run. They've got experience in a lot of places, and so it's going to be a huge challenge for us.
Do you feel like Dame offensive schemes and general philosophy will be the same, even though there's a new O coordinator?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think you always want to adapt to your personnel and what your strengths and weaknesses are. I think the addition of Sam Hartman at quarterback is going to allow them to open things up, be a little more creative in what they're doing. I think when we played them last year, they committed to being a run-first football team. I think we're going to see probably a more balanced offense, would be my guess. And I think they're going to spread the ball around a little bit. And I think they've been preparing for a long time for some of the things that we do. And so I would imagine we'll see a decent amount of throw. I think they're probably going to get the ball out quickly when they identify pressure and things like that. So they certainly have the quarterback to be able to get the ball out and spread it around.
What you all did against them in the second half last season when they were held scoreless on 12 total yards, does that give your defense confidence that you can stop this team, or do you think it pissed off Notre Dame?
No, I don't know. Last year was last year. This is a different team, a different year, and I certainly think our players feel like that they can play with Notre Dame. I don't have any doubts about that. But trying to think too much about last year, and despite some of the success we had in the second half, it has nothing to do with this year's team, our team or theirs. And so certainly some things you take away and you look at. But no, I don't think last year's performance gives us any confidence in our ability to go do our job this year. I think the confidence we have right now is based on what we've been doing since December, and the preparation leading up to this game.
Thank you, Coach.
Sir.
Randy Cross. You're muted, Randy.
All right. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Hey, it kind of a tricky thing, not only the new OC, but new quarterback and whatnot. How much do you anticipate of seeing that Wake did well and sort of that style last year with Hartman that would sort of transfer over? You talk about adjusting to personnel. How much of that do you think will translate into Notre Dame's offense?
No, that's a good question. The Wake Forest is really unique in what they did, offensively with the slow RPO and whatnot. I know Warren Ruggiero, they're really good football coach. I think the thing that he does really, really well, his ability to read defenses in that system at Wake, I think is going to carry over into some of the things that they're doing. I don't know if we'll see the slow RPO. I think we'll certainly see some RPO type stuff, but I don't think they're going to change their system to match what he did at Wake, and maybe some things he was comfortable doing that they may try to incorporate. Not really sure.
You know, you've obviously got some high character guys there. And when you start offensively in this game this week, how important is it to get some confidence, to have some success, just sort of to get some traction as this new system sort of takes hold?
Yeah, really important. You know, we certainly we want to get off to a fast start, and I think the the important thing is to keep the chains moving and protect the football. And we may have to grind it out a little bit. They're big, long, and fast, and a play that might be a 10, 12-yard gain against some, maybe a 3 or 4-yard gain against these guys. And so we have to be patient. We have to peck away. We can't beat ourselves. We can't get behind the sticks. And we're going to have to execute at a really, really high level in order to have those 12, 13, 14 play drives. And you hope to sprinkle in some explosives and some chunk plays as well. The first game of the year, you got to hope. They've had a lot of time to prepare for us. But you hope that, it's hard to simulate what we do in practice. And it's hard enough to simulate what we do schematically. It's even harder to simulate the speed at which we do it. So I think the speed at which we play and the confidence with which our kids play at is going to be extremely important.
And being a defensive guy, playing an option offense, linebackers and safeties can tend to get a little nosy and can get a little aggressive. Is that something you really have to look closely for, or especially early in the game out of Notre Dame?
Absolutely. We've got to be able to take what they give us and be able to take advantage of those the types of things that you're mentioning when we can. And I think that's certainly something that within our offense we're capable of doing. And so yeah, I know those guys will keep an eye on who's supporting, who's getting nosy, and those kind of things. And hopefully there's some dirty eyes on their side of the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
Wyckoff. You're muted, Scott.
Coach, as you guys get ready to get on the bus tomorrow, what do you like best about this team that you're taking to Ireland for this first game?
Just love the way that we've prepared, going back, mentioned earlier, all the way to December. These guys have embraced the work, embraced the process. I think they've earned the right to compete. I think they've put in the work to deserve to go over there and have a chance to win a football game. And so just really pleased with that. Really pleased with the focus, the way they're going about their business. It's a hungry group. I think they've got a chip on their shoulder, and they're anxious to get out there and see what we got.
How's been the attention to detail in practice each day?
Really good. I think when you play Notre Dame in the opener, it forces you to have a little bit of a heightened sense of urgency. And we've certainly seen that. And I think the consistency is something that I've complained about a little bit during camp. We go out, we work hard, but as far as from an execution standpoint, we want to be more consistent than we have been. I think you've seen that start to really take hold, over the course of the last week, and we've been much better in that regard. And I think that's because we're starting to narrow the game plans down. We're getting closer, and that that excitement, that sense of urgency is palpable, with our guys right now.
What kind of difference can Riley make in a game with the way he's punting in practice right now that transcribes into the game?
He can flip a field for sure. He's got an NFL type leg, and he's had a really, really good camp. Been very consistent, very solid. He's a really good athlete back there at punter, and we ask him to do some different things, and he does them very, very well. And so, anytime you have a really good one of those, punting's not necessarily a bad thing,
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Joe Miller.
Hey, Coach. Joe Miller, Navy Radio Network. I wanted to talk a little bit or ask you about sort of your preparation, first game as a head coach. A lot that goes into it, not to mention the trip to Ireland and all that stuff. But how much, as you go into your first game as a head coach, have you worked on or talked about sort of like in-game situations and how you want to be as a head coach, and in certain situations, how you want that team, whether to be aggressive, how much have you thought about that? How much have you worked on that since becoming the head coach?
Think about it all the time. That's going to be the biggest adjustment for me, and that's my concern. Maybe not the right word, but that's what keeps me up at night, making sure that I'm making the right decisions. We work a lot of situational things in practice. It's great for our players. It's great for me and our coaches to make sure the communication's on point. We use analytics. Danny Payne, our director of recruiting, and I work together on a lot of that stuff. So, he's got all the charts and all the information. And, you can use the analytics, but at the end of the day, you've got to go with your gut on things as well. And, it's my nature, if you watch us play defense, to be pretty aggressive. And that's not going to change as the head coach, and the decisions that I make. But, yeah, that's a good question. I'll certainly think about it all the time, Joe.
Also, the uniqueness of opening up in Ireland and sort of all the preparation that goes into that. Has it been difficult to sort of, find the time to sort of work through all of those situations and also kind of prepare your team, or has that been an easy part of this?
As far as the preparation leading up to this week, the logistical. Yeah. No, I think it's been pretty smooth. Our sports staff have done a great job of going out ahead of time and making sure we're organized and on point. We've had a lot of discussions about the timelines and the itineraries and what we're doing. And last week for us, we treated it like a game week. We've changed some things with the schedule and the way we're practicing, and want to make sure our guys understood exactly what we're trying to get accomplished and got into a routine and a rhythm of what we're doing. And so we're going to practice here tomorrow. It'll be a normal Wednesday practice for us, and then we get on the plane and get there Thursday. And Thursday for us is a walkthrough. It's a mental focus Thursday, if you will, for us. And then Friday we have a split up practice. And so we're going to treat it, just like normal, a normal week for us.
And the last one for me, I know it's, you can't sort of match the numbers or replicate what John Marshall did for you guys last year.
Mm.
How do you have the conversations with the players taking over a spot to say, you don't need to put up 7 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss. We just need you to do A, B, and C. How do you get that message across?
Yeah. Well, John played at a really high level, certainly, especially later on in the year, last year. And I think, the guys in our system know if they do their job, that plays are going to come to them, and that striker position is one of those spots where, if you're doing your job, naturally it's going to be one of the more productive positions on the field. Been really impressed with McDonald at that spot. He's had a really, really good camp. He's a senior. He's dialed in. He's locked in. He's kind of one of those guys that's been waiting in the shadows for his opportunity. And he's one of those guys that awesome all season, a great summer, and really, really excited about him right now and the way he's playing. And he understands the defense. He knows he doesn't have to do more than he needs to do. Just do his job as well as he can do it, and the plays that are going to come to him will come to him. He understands that, and he's been great.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Kendall Griggs, WJLA TV from Washington, D.C.
How do you do, Coach?
Hey, Kendall.
Welcome. How do you do? Just one question from me, because these folks have asked the other one, so I'll spare you. But just since we're on the subject of playing Notre Dame in the Fighting Irish in Ireland, just talk about the experience that for you and your student athletes there with you, just to be able to go over there and experience this. I know it's a business trip, and
yeah,
we're trying to win. This is, but just to separate that, how do you separate that and take in the experience of playing over there?
Yeah. Kendall, you stole the words out of my mouth saying it's a business trip. This is not a bowl game. There's not a whole lot of downtime when we're over there. Obviously it's exciting to get to go over to Dublin, and we've got some guys getting on a plane for the first time, and most of our team has never been over the pond. And so it's a great opportunity for them to see a different part of the world. Even though we're not going to be there very long, we're not going to get to see a whole lot of it, but our primary focus is on the game. And there's a fine line. You want your players to be able to enjoy it and take it all in, obviously. And the pageantry of it and all that. But when it's time to get dialed in and focus, we got to be able to drown out the noise and the distractions and focus on Notre Dame. But no, it's an awesome opportunity. It looks like a fantastic venue. We're excited for our players to have that opportunity to play in a venue like that against an opponent like Notre Dame. Excited about our fans traveling over and just a great opportunity overall for everybody.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you. Good luck
Yes,
over there. Thank you.
Thanks, Kendall.
Hey, Matt Hurst.
Coach, how is Ty? It's on the timing of the injury last year. How has he even made this a competition at quarterback to where he's got a great opportunity to try and play this Saturday?
Did a great job with his recovery and his rehab. And Jim Berry and our strength and conditioning staff did an awesome job working with him. I think he moves better right now than he did pre-ACL. And just has worked his tail off. He had a great summer and he's had a really, really good camp. Ty is one of those calm, cool, collected quarterbacks. He understands the system. He operates really well. And like I said, he's had a really, really good fall camp. And, he's a guy that I trust, and the guy's going to make great decisions. And just really fired up about where he's at and what he's done, the progress he's made.
For various reasons, your slot back depth chart has changed dramatically from the end of the last season. How have you gotten to where you are now, and what's the confidence level in the new men who've risen their name up those lists?
Yeah, certainly got some really capable guys at those positions. I think Marcus Thomas has done a really, really good job with those guys. They're playing extremely hard. They're willing and able to go make the blocks that we need them to make. I think the change, moving.
Anton Hall.
Anton from T-back to slot was huge for us. He's a bigger body slot, gives you a physical presence there, and really dynamic with the ball in his hands. And been really, really impressed with Anton's progress and his acceptance of the role and embracing it. And that adds another dimension in the slot room for us. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
In terms of this process, you've been in this game for a long time as a coach. You have a perception of what the head coach responsibilities are and what it could be like. What's the reality as you head into your first game as the head coach at one of Division I's best institutions?
Yeah, it's a great responsibility and a privilege, obviously, and I'm just excited about the opportunity to lead the program. And my approach as the head coach is really not a whole lot different than it was as the defensive coordinator. My role obviously on game days is very different. Just super excited about the opportunity and excited about our football team and where we've come from December. And I think we're where I hoped we would be at this point. So really just excited to go see where we're at. And I think expectations of our players are really high. We expect great things to happen. We're not going over there hopeful. We're going over there with some expectations, and excited about our football team.
Thanks, Coach. See you on the plane.
Yes, sir.
Mr. McGuire, Associated Press.
Hey, Coach. Ken McGuire from AP. Thanks for your time today. For people like myself and maybe others, readers and things who are just kind of catching up and tuning in for the first time with college football kind of restarting in this week and catching up on Navy and Notre Dame. What's the plan with the quarterbacks? And do you have a starter? And kind of, is it safe to say that we're going to see a combination of Blake and Ty on Saturday?
Yeah, we've got three players that we can roll out at quarterback and feel pretty comfortable with. I think Ty separated himself as of late. Certainly excited about Blake and some of the things that he's done and an element that he adds at quarterback. And Ken, as you know, I mean, in this system, you got to have depth at quarterback. You need to be able to play two, maybe three of them. And the reality of them staying healthy all year are slim, and so you feel good about for sure the first two, and really Xavier Arline's played a lot of good snaps for us and done some really good things, and and he's certainly gonna have a role on Saturday. Whether it's at quarterback or at slot, and but he's got a good camp as well, and so excited about some of the things that he's doing also.
And so for the starter, are you keeping that secret essentially before will we know when we see the first snap?
You'll know, yeah, you'll know when you see the first snap.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Let's go to James Hartner of Press Box.
Hey, Coach. Oh, let me put my camera on, my bad. Hey, Coach. James Hartner, Press Box. I just only have one question. A couple of my other questions were already answered. So, I was just wondering, what type of leadership does the new captains bring up into the football field for you guys? And in Notre Dame, or when you guys play Notre Dame, are you expecting like that leadership to show and like what they're going to do and whatnot?
Yeah, I think we got 4 great captains. Everybody kind of leads in their own way, and they're all unique and different. I think the thing that you see with all 4 of them is they lead by example, more than anything else. And, I'd say none of them are super outspoken guys, but when they talk, their teammates listen. Highly, highly respected by their teammates. They're all guys that have played a ton of meaningful snaps for us and been in the fire. And so I think our team has a ton of respect for those 4 guys, and I certainly do expect their leadership to come through on a Saturday, no question.
Let's go to our friend across the pond, Oliver Hodgkinson.
There he
Evening,
is.
Coach. Or afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, evening over here anyway. And it soon will be for you guys too. Just a couple of questions from me, Coach. Firstly, yesterday Marcus Freeman spoke about everyone talks about the journey out to Ireland, but Marcus spoke yesterday about the journey back. Obviously, Notre Dame play the following week. You guys have got an off week. How much of an advantage is that for Navy on the way back to the US?
Yeah, it's a tough trip. It certainly helps that we have a bye. There's no question about that. And so I think to have that long of a trip to get our guys back over here on Monday and kind of put that game to rest, get a lift in, get them out on the field, work out some of the soreness. Probably won't practice on Monday, and then we get the kind of some freedom about how we want to structure the week. But probably go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, give them a weekend off, which would be great for them. So. Yeah, I'd much rather have a bye week than be playing the next weekend for sure.
Lots of talk about Sam Hartman and the passing offense. Not a great deal of talk about obviously what the Fighting Irish bring at the wide receiver position, which is a lot of talent. There's a plethora of talent there. How do you see the Navy secondary matching up against some of that talent they have in the wide receiver room?
Yeah, no, certainly they are talented. Some big receivers. Some really highly recruited receivers with a lot of expectations, I think, on their side. And, I think our secondary may be the most improved group, on the defense side of the football. And so I'm excited about where we're at. I do think we match up. I think there's certainly some concerns with their wideouts and some of the speed, some of the size that they have. And so we got to be smart about what we're asking our guys to do and when we're giving them help, obviously. But no, I feel good about the matchup. And I feel as good about our secondary as I have since I got here in 19.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. See you at the weekend.
Too.
All right, we've got about 5 minutes left. Wags. You're on mute, Wags.
Yeah, I'm trying to get off. Coach, Marcus Freeman spoke at length yesterday about the fact that he thinks it's a huge advantage for Notre Dame to be playing you in the opener as opposed to normal when they have 1 week to prepare.
Yeah.
A, are you concerned about that? And B, he mentioned watching a lot of Kennesaw film to get an idea of what Grant Chestnut is going to do. Do you think watching Kennesaw film will show Notre Dame exactly what Navy's going to do?
No, I think if you could take anything away from the Kennesaw film, maybe it's, Coach Chestnut's personality in certain situations or field zones or things like that. Yeah, they do. They have a little bit more time to prepare for us. are they preparing for the right things? Would be the question I would propose. But yeah, it's a little bit of an advantage. And like I said earlier, it's hard to simulate what we do. It's hard to simulate the speed of it. And I feel good about our plan right now, and excited about the matchup.
Evan Warren is listed as a starting kicker. What did Evan do to earn that job? And was it a close competition, or was it clear cut? And do you feel confident in your place kicking?
Yeah, I feel like we really have two kickers. Nate's done a great job as well. They're both talented. I think it came down to the Evan's consistency throughout spring and throughout fall camp, and he's kicked 3 field goals over 50 yards in critical situations in practice. So we've got some range, and had a really good camp. Excited about Evan.
Thank you.
We've got about 3 minutes. Anyone have one question? All right, we're good. Thanks a lot, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
I think Wyckoff had one.
Oh, did you have one, Wyckoff? I missed that.
Just a real quick one. Coach, what is it the most you're looking forward to being down on the field for your first game as a head coach? The one thing that you're really looking forward to the most?
Playing a game with this team. This is a new team. There's never been one like it before, and there never will be afterwards. And I'm excited about who we are, who our brand is, and excited to roll that out on the field and play together.